People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of their skin. Run, 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 but you sure can't hide. Well, nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to our nation.
Good morning, welcome to Detroit Wants to Know. We're coming to you from the Prince Valley Gigante Supermarket on Michigan Avenue in Southwest Detroit. My friends, you and I both know that crime is out of hand. You had a woman stabbed on the bus a couple weeks ago. You had a shootout with 50 shots, bullets riddled. We've had the block parties all summer long where people have been getting shot. My friends, I throw my hands up. I had Judge Greg Bill on here a couple weeks ago to try and give us a pulse of the crime in Wayne County. This week, I have the master scientist of crime. I have Andy Arenas from the Detroit Crime Commission. Mr. Arenas, welcome to Detroit Wants to Know. It's been too long to get you on here.
It is.
What in the world is going on in Detroit? But before you go into that, what does the Detroit Crime Commission do? It sounds like something out of Elliot Ness.
Well, we're a not-for-profit organization, Steve. We focus on quality of life and public safety issues. A lot of our work is analytical work. It's handling money. It's getting grants to help community groups, the city of Detroit, law enforcement, make this a better, safer community.
Okay, now it's a nonprofit, but your background, you were a former special agent. What were you?
I was the head of the FBI here in the state of Michigan, and when this job opportunity came open, I was actually eligible to retire. I was offered a job in Washington to go back there for the FBI, but this is home. I grew up in Southwest Detroit. This is my home. I want my kids to grow up in the Detroit area. I want them to experience what I experienced. I turned it down and stayed here.
Okay. My good friend, Dave Klein, who is also my videographer, said, you know, Chicago has become the Midwest travel destination, even though it's become the murder capital.
Yeah.
Detroit is vastly, rapidly heading that way. We had 100,000 people down here a couple weekends ago. Almost no crime in downtown or midtown, but in the neighborhoods, all hell was breaking loose.
Right.
What do we do about Detroit crime? How do we fix this situation? How bad is it?
Well, I think there's no one silver bullet, Steve. There's no one answer to this. I think we're in a city that's just coming out of bankruptcy. You have the police department that's doing the best that they can. You've got a chief of police who's trying to update the culture, the way that the department operates. I think for far too long we've ignored the neighborhoods. I think there has to be more of a focus on the neighborhoods, and I think Mayor Duggan's doing that. So to me, it is not one answer. It's a lot of different people, a lot of different groups pulling together to come up with a lot of different ways to fix this problem.
Well, in the Wayne State area,
Yeah.
they found an answer. They have multiple police forces. They have the Wayne State Police, Michigan State Police, Detroit Police, and they have the DMC Police.
Right.
Is that what we have to do in the neighborhoods?
Well,
have multiple police departments?
I think from a law enforcement standpoint, you've got to look at task forces, you've got to look at force multipliers. So it could be the federal agencies, the state police, different state and local law enforcement agencies. But I think it goes beyond that. I mean, there's obviously socioeconomic issues that are going on that drive crime. You know, I always say you're not going to rush your way out of this problem. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a Band-Aid. Get the bad guys off the street, but we got to fix the problems that are causing people to go to crime.
Okay. Well, speaking of fixing the problems that cause people to go to crime, it's just been made public that Detroit is a major conduit for heroin down south.
Yes.
How in the world do we produce heroin here? What's going on?
We don't produce it, and I think really the backdrop of that, Steve, is we have for a number of years been kind of the cartel or the Columbia, if you will, for the pill trade, Oxycontin, Vicodin. A lot of that is because of the healthcare fraud that has gone on in this area. Pills are easy to get, and pills were gotten here in Detroit and were basically taken down the I-75 corridor to places like Toledo or Chillicothe, Ohio, or Lexington, Kentucky, Charleston, West Virginia. And so heroin is basically just kind along the same lines as Oxycontin, Oxycodone. One is more a synthetic type. So since we've become like the hub and heroin is so cheap, it makes sense that people are importing heroin here and then distributing it from Detroit.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, our next guest is going to be from DTE Energy because they're facing crime. Their crews are getting attacked on the streets.
Right.
I want to thank you for coming down to visit us.
My pleasure.
And when you ever want to get out a crime bulletin or whatever, we'll do it. I want to talk to you about that Page Stalker one day.
Sounds
with
good.
all that money you guys raised to do that. Have you found the guy yet?
You have to talk to DPD. Nobody yet.
Nobody yet.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that guy's obviously an assassin.
A lot of money.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We're going to talk about our utility crews. Winter's coming. Things are about to get rough around here, and DTE is going to be out there fixing stuff, but their people are getting robbed. We'll be right back.